so he turned around and got back on track.
Hello everyone and welcome to my mandatory games series. Now basically what this series is me talking about games I think are very important for gamers to play. Basically, games that I think are really helpful towards seeing video games as art, or maybe just really damn good games, or games that were like turning points for the genres that they're involved in, which I will also make sure to highlight. If you're only into FPS games or only into MMOs, then I'll make sure I notate that it is important for that genre, but not others as well. It's also important to notate that some of these games are going to be very old. So of course the Stanley Parable isn't the one you're looking at now, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment, but other ones will be, and also, some of them might not be old, but they may be glitchy as all hell. But I think that the experience that they offer, or their importance in video gaming history, are up there with things like Citizen Kane, or, things like that for other mediums.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me, because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
So, this is the Stanley Parable, and that little narrative bit is just a small sample of what is so great about the game. It really does great with really witty dialogue, a great narrative. Not only is the narrative itself just great, it does a really good job of having you look at games in a different way. Agency, the feeling of agency that you have in games, it does really good at kind of shoving that in your face, and it ribs you for doing certain things, and it praises you for doing others, and at the same time it gives you this really great commentary on the way we play games now, or the way most do, and the things that we ask out of our games as well. So I think that this is I think this deserves a spot in this series, because it really, again, it shows you both how the way you think about games can be great, and the way that we think about games these days can just be really dumb. And it really will make you completely change. I think it'll flip your perspective pretty well if you pay attention, if you really pay attention and try to take everything in. I think it'll change a lot of the way you think about free choice in games, what narrative means, and what you expect out of the games when you pick it up and play them as well. Now, I know that it kind of sounds like I'm repeating myself, and maybe I am, but the thing is it's really hard to explain this game, because the more I explain, the more I really give away about what is so great. Not what is so great, but the more I give away of the great experience. And it's just really unfair to someone I tell to play the game, to the things that are going to happen to them. It's one of those games that the more I tell you, the less fun it's going to be, because you're going to be thinking more about the words that I said as opposed to just getting involved in the narrative and the game and the story in general. So yeah, I mean, just to make it kind of short, Stanley Parable, must play, teaches you new things about game narrative and decision making, agency, or whatever you want to call it. So if you like this and you want to see more must-play mandatory games, then I suggest you subscribe. If you didn't like it, comment, tell me why. I'd like to know. I'd like to be able to grow. I love discussing things, and I love being part of this community. So the more you can help me be a bigger part of it, the better it'll be for both of us. Yeah?